morning and welcome to another market review. We're looking at how the market has performed for the week under review, being the peak of electoral season and also earnings season. Yes, the election has come. All eyes are on the outcome between now and Monday morning to see who the INEC will declare as the winner, and we expect that this also will have impact on the market. But we need to look at the market performance at the peak of earnings season and also what is expected as post-election, either rally or quite rally or confident. We need to see how market will behave. Don't forget that even at the last trading day of last week, we saw a kind of publication from or a directive from the Central Bank of Nigeria concerning the tenure of Nigeria banks. And if you look back, remember in 2010, we have that what we call Sanusi tsunami, where many MDs of bank was sacked in 2009, and at the same time, the tenure was fixed for 10 years. I think that was where it started, 10 years, and we have seen changes since then, and that also kind of gave room for many of the recent chairman of many banks to leave their office as MDs of those banks, and that usher in a new change for Nigerian banks, and that has sustained the confidence in the banks. But the new one that just came is just a review, and this review also is also to strengthen corporate governance, as the CBN have said. But people were already afraid that this is going to impact on the market negatively. Yes, I would say it will have influence, not much negative, but it will have influence on the market. But we should not forget that, yes, as at December 31st, this announcement have not been done, and many of these MD banks have sent their result to the Central Bank of Nigeria, and at the same time, the factors that are driving banks' performance remain intact. And if you look at these banks in Nigeria today, despite many of them have gone to hold code as a result of trying to elongate their position, I believe that it's going to affect the chairmen of these banks and also the MDs or the group CEOs that have stayed for too long. But for the banks CEOs or the banks MD, if you look at nearly all the banks, they still have their time, their tenure still remain. That means for me, it won't have more, because those that would affect, either the chairmen of these banks and also the group, CEOs of the holding companies, is not going to affect their holdings. If they are part holding of the company of these banks, and they know the impact of this holding in their bank, and they know also where the bank is going. For me, it won't have much effect on it, but it's good that we have this kind of tenure, because we are seeing that in Nigeria environment, sit tight mentality has always been part of that. That's why it's not in Africa, and I believe that this tenure issue should be a thing that we should appreciate, so that nobody will just come to a bank because after your tenure have expired, as or you that you are almost spent your 10 years as then you try to hold that to create a holding company or find way of trying to negotiate your waiting. What we have seen in the corporate corporate world today, we see what happened in the NGX, we see also this in GT code, we see in all of them, but in access we see all this. But I believe that this will not have negative impact on the performance of these banks. Yes, you can say that these group CEOs are the one running the short, but I tell you that they have already done what we call successful succession plans that have always sustained the bank. For me, it's not a bad deal, but it's about enhancing corporate governance in the bank, which also help every one of us to understand that the banking sector is the most sensitive industry to always look at when we are looking at the economy, because they are the engine of any economy. How these banks are run, the confidence we have on them, that also like kind of people they put in their money, and also attracting investment to the economy. We must see that our banks are stable and also they are ready to support the economic growth. Yes, if we want to quickly just look at the banks and also the tenure of their current MDs. For me, I think it does not affect most of the banks, because all of them will still have their tenure to expire in 5 or even 9 to 10 years ahead. For me, it's good if you look at the MDs of we start from Access Bank. Yes, it has affected both the chairman and some of them executive, that have to overstayed. But for the new MDs of either a holding banks or the banks that are, for example, for Fidelity Bank, they will have Nika as their MD there. I can tell you that banks, for me, the MD has about from record. Sorry, not from me. From record, the MD has up to, let's start from Fidelity now. The MD of Fidelity for me has about almost sorry, just hold on. For Fidelity, just have about almost around how many years now? For Fidelity, we still have that the MD have up to like no nine, 7 to 8 years to stay as the MD. That means that that's that this new rule don't affect the MD unless the holding and Fidelity is not a holding company for me, unless the EDs that have stayed there. But for the MD, it's tenure, or unless you are adding the tenure of of being an executive director before becoming an MD. If it's still up to like no 12 years for adding the two, I think that is the new law. For me, less watch for this. As I said, this will not affect much on what on the bank. For Access Bank, I'll tell you that the MD of the bank, Access Bank is a holding company now, but the bank itself, the MD of the bank has about almost as we speak, has about now 9 years to stay in that position. For me, it's not a bad one. It's also a good one for Access Bank, unless the holding company where we have a week I as what as a group executive director. But for the banks, there is still time for the bank. Also, the same thing also appear for FCMB. FCMB, you can see that Mr. Yemisi also there has about as we speak now about as I said earlier, has about almost 9 to 8 years again. No, for me, this don't affect the bank's MDs recently because already these banks, whenever they have a hold code, they all have also the substantial MDs that are on seats. For me, there's no cause for alarm. For GT code, yes, for GT code, the Guaranty Trust Bank, which is a holding company, also has up to like, as I said earlier, 8 to 9 years. That means for me, there's no cause for alarm at all. Just start your patient and invest wisely. Yes, the news might slow down the banks, no, in the new week, but I tell you, depending on the strength of the number that are coming on the or the dividend declare payout, that will also have impact what on the banks. If you look at the First Bank of Nigeria under First Bank FBN Holding, yes, the MD also has about as we speak now, about, let's say, the 4 to 3 years to stay before also leaving as MD. No, like I always say, unless you're adding the tenure for being an executive director before becoming an MD, and you can say altogether it's a 12 years tenure before you have a one month cool off. But I believe that this is also a good way of measuring, improving our corporate governance. If you look at also Union Bank of Nigeria, Emeko Konko there, you can see also, have about as we speak, as about I believe that that bank also, because of the takeover, monetary takeover, there must be change there already. We expect that to happen, but I think it has also like 8 to 9 or 7 years also in that category. I'm looking at the one that are listed also so that we'll know what we're considering so that it will be faster for us. UBA, yes, I believe that it's not long they appointed a new MD for the banks. I can't forget that also this bank have branches all over, and also for the bank, they also have about that same 9 to 10 years also to stay, because newly appointed. For Zenith Bank, yes, if you look at Zenith Bank, for me, the MD has been there for like 3 years now, to 2019 to date, or 4 years, let's say, might say, 2019 to date, about 4 years. It has about 6 to 5 years also to stay. Like I always refer, if compared to if I have executive tenure add to it, that's also like we're looking at 12 years. If you are doing, for me, these are nothing that you also, because already all this bank has a succession plan before this time. These are good things that we need to boost the corporate governance in our market for more. If you look at ATI also, I believe that the new MD there also has about for bank, ATI is like a conglomerate and also an international bank. But for here, the one operating the MD here as a EcoBank Nigeria also has about also 9 to 8 years. I know that the banks, they are also full, because by recently you can see that the banks were also changing their MDs, tenor. That means these banks are factor all this in into their into their operation, or into their plan, because the board understand rules guiding. Like I said, the well-regulated sector see things going the way. That's why I see that most of the banks are not caught unaware, because they understand also where they operate. Yes, if you look at Stanbic IBTC, banks, and okay, they have about there you can see that the MD has about also 6 to 7 years to stay there to make it 10 years. Like I always say, it depends on what on the on the stay, as executive director before becoming MD. But you can say altogether it's about 12 years, both the two sides. For me, it's also a good one. Sterling Bank also, yes, the MD there has about 6 to 8 years, good one. Let's see that. And for Unity Bank, yes, Unity Bank is one of the listed bank also. The MD for Unity Bank, for me, it's also not a bad one totally. For Unity Bank, who is the MD has about roughly, let's say 2 to 3 years there. If you look at the what it is, 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3 or 4 years, as the MD there, Mr. Tommy, and also, we need to look at this. These are the things we need to consider. And also for Jahiz Bank, for me, Jais Bank, MD also has a, Sistema also has up to like, if you look at the Jais Bank now, you can say that I'll tell you has less than 3 to 4 years also to stay. For me, look at the things we need to also consider as what as a investor. That means these banks, they also not only know exactly when their dates they will expire after has been what as the MDs of this company. That means there's no cause for alarm. Yes, back to the market. Like I've looked to let you share this. I believe that this have impact on the market board, because these banks have sent their results to to the regulator. I don't say that they call back and say they want to change that. No, these are for me that will not keep your payment. And also don't forget that this banking sector is the most consistent dividend payment. I believe that it will not affect their payouts. The people are telling me that it's going to affect. Yes, market might react to it, but I'll tell you the operation of these banks remain intact, and their performance, because factors driving the performance is not from this. It's already a system that is running. For that, you don't need to panic at all for the bank. For me, it's a good one. Also, yes, people might say that way, but I think we should also strengthen our corporate governance in a way that investors and confidence will be kind of enhanced, and also foreign investor, and also able to run, also support the economic. These are the things that we should also know when we're investing. Yes, we want to quickly look at the numbers that were released to the market this period, and especially the dividend announcement that is just coming from investors. These are good news, but we also want to consider what this company number, and also what they're paying. Are they able to grow their pay? I can see that most of the results that came, we only see a slight decline in one of them. That means it's a missed payout. From the one that came from Nigeria Brewery, we saw, if you look at what they paid last year, they pay about 1 naira 45 kobo. This time they're doing a 1 naira together. Both they're entering as 1 naira 43 plus bonus they gave in December, if you can remember. Bonus for from not trying to keep towards the compliance of Kama, as a result of either cancelling their uninitial share. Actually, they gave it as a bonus. These are the things. But we need to look at the strength of the numbers released by these banks, by this company. Sorry. If you look at the number that came from Nigeria Brewing, I'll start from there. Say the top line, which is the revenue or turnover, whatever I call it, moved from 437 point 25 billion to 550.64 million, represented about 26% up. And also PAT in that direction also was up marginally from 12.67 billion to 13.19 billion, about 8% up. And EPS was flat, I will tell you, from 1 naira 74 to 1 naira 8. For 1 naira 57, sorry, to 1 naira 58 kobo forward for the EPS for the same year against the 2021. And you can look at the profit margin. Profit margin dropped from 2.9% to 2.46% in 2022. You can see that the high cost of this operation on this company have shown. And also, if you look at the cash flow for this company for this period, I'll tell you there's a great decline on there. Yes, that's why there's a kind of a misnumber here, positive, but I'll tell you the cash flow for the period for the group really dropped from about 150 to 56 billion to around the 53 or 58 billion naira. I said you need to also watch this because Nigeria Bureau have been also following this stuff. That's why I don't invest in it. In previous years, if you look at this company, their short-term obligation, is for a long time. There is way I only look at it, but for those that are in this, you have to also keep your eyes on it. Despite the people say the sector where it is, there's a very good business. Agree, but I'll tell you, figures don't lie, and you can't go outside of your number to pay dividend. A stock that is selling for almost 41 naira, giving you a final dividend of 1 naira 3 kobo. You tell me the yield there, but for those that are there, you need to also look at. That's why I said I look more on the banking sector where we see that they are consistent and their yields are high, and other financial company in that financial companies on the exchange, their performance above. For all this talk, it depends on what your investment objective. But it is the number for Nigeria Bureau. For we want to look at what also happened, in Boa also released their Boa Cement. Sorry, not Boa Food. Boa Cement also released their audited account. And I tell you, these are the early filers that did not release their results for the last what we call within 30 days in January. And that means between now and end of first trading day of March. That is the first March 1st before 5 or in the night we see that those companies to release their result, and we expect that this one of them. But I can see that the Nigeria Brewing, Boa Cement, and the Dangote has notified the market of their corporate action. For Nigeria, for Boa Cement, you can see that the top line, I will tell you, this is a good number. That's why there's a marginal slowdown in their PAT, but I tell you, this is a good number. But payout and also holding structure has supplied the price, not on the strength of the performance. I will tell you, on the price of these stocks, I think the price is selling for me is grossly what we call overpriced. But you see, you look at all these companies, the shareholding structure, and also who is there. That is why in equity analysis, after looking at your fundamental, your technicals, your sentiment, personality behind companies is also very, very important. Shareholding structure is also very, very important. When you look at it, it helps some company to remain above, despite if the earnings not support that price, it still remain there because these shares are not outside. And that is why you see most of them, they know this. That's why every year they approach NGX for what? Either for permission or to extend their because ideally for a company to really be on the exchange, your float should be 20% for the public, but most of them have just less than 4%, or less than 5% float, and some have a 10. But all these are big companies are where the billionaires in Nigeria are. That means you can see whether the NGS is compromising but they know why they allow them. But for me, we need to also look at this very, very well, as a investor, because they have goal for price. Why, if you see a stock that's having a momentum investing sentiment, you need to find out what is behind it. You know when to join it and when to join the rally. You might join the rally late, so that is why you need to look at your technical analysis to know that you not join the rally late. For those that have entered these companies at the beginning, especially when they were around the 50 naira, 30 naira, and you are still holding, yes. And don't forget, I always say that be where the billionaires are, but when you are working in the billionaires where they are, you have to also be smart so that they will not dump on you. But good thing is that most of these billionaires, they want their share to appreciate so that you impact what their what we call their valuation or their worth. These are the things that for numbers, I'll tell you most of these billionaires companies do not want it, but on the movement, we are in investment to make money. Price move through their way of I can't say manipulation, but they know how they move their price because it's part of what they use to value them. For that, they don't want this company to come down in terms of price appreciation. They want the price to go so that their value is also be appreciated. Yes, if you come back, let's come back to Boa Cement. Boa Cement turnover move from 257.37 billion to 360.99 billion. That is about 40% up. This is a good one, 40.3% up. For me, it's a good one. Then if you look at the PAT for the period from 90.1 billion to 101 billion naira, that's about 12% up for that year for the period under review. And this translates to what? To 2 naira 96 kobo earning per share against 2 naira 66 kobo in previous year 2021. And that also look at the company profit margin for the period. There's a decline. These are also, don't forget, high cost or capital intensive operation. Their cost here is high, but still I can see that the profit margin of Boa mentioned that yes, their cost management is in order. It's a good one. We need to comment it. Yeah, efficient in every 1 naira of their revenue, about no about no 2 naira, about 3 naira, about 270 or 3 naira is retained, from that 1 naira of their, gross, of their revenue. For me, it's a good one. It's a good one for them. But there's a decline from what they did last year. Last year, about 35 percent of their, of the profit margin dropped from the 35 to 27 point what point 898. For me, it's also, not too bad, but it's a decline that we notice. If you look at the dividend payouts for the period, also it was up from 2 naira 46 kobo to 2 naira 80 kobo for 2022. This is also an upgrade, a growth from the previous payout. But I'll tell you, the payout as we speak now, the yield is very is below, dividend is below, as we speak now, is below 3%. And as also, if you look at the what we call the price to earning ratio is about 33 point something. You need to also apply this, when you are taking it and know why. Like I said, personality matters. If you are looking at the numbers, I think the numbers now support the price. In a matured market, could have find it, but because of our market 10% and all those stuff, I believe that is why this stock will stay up. But for those that understand the operation of this stock, or like I said, if you want to be where the billionaire is, that is where I will consider looking the work of this stock, but not for dividend income. For those, like, if you are buried there, know that we are not. If you invest for capital appreciation, fine. But I believe that as we will expect to see financial reset in the economy, also I see economic reset and political reset after this election. I believe that there's also bright future for this sector, and that will also support their performance. That's why all eyes are on some companies that are yet to realize in that industry, also to see what they are going to pay. Yes, before I continue, I want to tell you, kind of share some company that we're still expecting their result, and from next week, even from today, it's possible that we start seeing it today. Yeah, look at we expect now after Prudential, the approval of their result by their board of directors. That means any moment from now, that result to the market. UCAP, board of directors met on Friday, 24th of February. Expect to see the result. WAPCO result is expected to come to the market next week after the election. As we all look forward to see the result. Also, we expect to see results from the banking sector, but this will have to wait for approval from the central bank. They, like, especially now that the pressure was started, they are becoming less tense. We expect to see them approving results. Right from Zenith Bank, who they said now between 31st of March. We expect to see from GT Code, from Access Bank, Access Corp, also to see from UBA, even from FBN Holding. Also from we expect to see from Dangote Sugar. We expect to see from NASCOM, and also Steplat, and ETI and Nestle, and more of them. But for yesterday, we also saw that the corporate action of Dangote Cement hit the market about 20 naira dividend, and that's what they paid last year. But if you look at the third quarter result of uh, Dangote Cement, I would say that number was a bit down. We expected that it might not, but if they are kind of do what we call dividend equalization, paying 29 they paid the previous year, that is good for investor. But until we see the actual figure to see the performance, but if they maintain their 20 naira payment, as we have seen, that would be a good one for what for Dangote. Dangote's make can see, even though the price is high, that the dividend is even better than that of what cement. You need to put. That's why all eyes are now on what on WAPCO, to see the result of WAPCO and where it's going. But one thing again, I should make clear that if you look at the first year banks, I will tell you the second tier banks, sorry, the second tier banks are having more. For me, all this change internal will not affect them much. If you look at a bank like FCMB, that of Sterling Bank and Fidelity, you can see even the ETI, you can see that most of them are still in order. That means you should look at where you should be putting your money this time as an investor is or trader is very important. For those in the premium class, they will stock to buy. We also release them. We go to log in as normal and see them, because already we have seen that stock that has the signal for the week are also there, so that you can take advantage of those uh, those stock and take position. But already we are in most of this stock. That's why I always let you know, so that you won't think that we are still watching to see where we can. But most of the stock that are since 16 signal, we're already in them waiting to take profit. That means you need to watch to see where the market. But I believe that this news might slow the banking sector down, but not much, because as far they were still looking forward to see their audited account, might see a reversal in those bank. Even though there's a little pullback, because of this news. But I believe that those that understand what they're investing in the market for know that the election has come. Once the election come and gone, I'll tell you, we want to see what we call post-election rally, if everything will go well, after the result have been announced, even when there is little, kind of kind of unrest or anything we call it, I think that stability will cause to come to our economy once we make a choice of a leader and INEC announce it. No matter the litigation that will come around there, I believe that that person will start planning until the final the 2020 or the final May 29, where they will hand over, and the person that I appointed will also start rolling out plan on record, because the person that comes as a next CEO of Nigeria should sit up, know that there's a lot of enormous work to do to put the economy in the right direction and to redirect Nigeria economy in the path of progress that which everyone is yearning for. I think that will help the economy. For me, there's no cause for alarm. And those that are for dividend income, like I said, this is the time for you to take position, because election will not affect the company that have announced their result not to pay you, and because election will come and go, but the company will stay as far as Nigeria remain as what a sovereign state. There is no cause for alarm as we speak. For me, we are good to go for the new week. Or that follow, log in for those that are in the subscription in the premium class, class, to see exactly what we have there for the week. I think I'll still send the stuff that have buy signal, and those that have sell signal there. I might not put it in, but those that have sell signal, you can look at them, and also those that have buy signal. If you are not in them, you take a position, but if you are in them, or just to watch to see their number and see how far they will go. Yes, we'll come back to the chart before we don't call it a day. The chart, I will tell you that despite all the tension of election, the chart maintain what we call a bullish channel. You can see it here. The market remained on a bullish channel, which is and making higher highs. As we speak, the market has broken out. We're broken out the 15 years, 16 years high, which is a good one. Heading forward 55,000 mark. I've said earlier this year, the week on that review, that despite the pullback we saw the previous week on Friday, that the market will hit 55. I can see that market almost tested it 54,949. For me, it tells you that where the market is going. Market was up by 2.12% for the week, against the previous week 0.96 lost. And you can see that yes, the only consideration I'm doing here, that the volume in the last 3 weeks have been on a decline, despite remaining relatively above the average traded volume, but on a decline. That was also watch. But I tell you, once get it right, if we are seeing market going up in the midst of election, in the midst of reverse hike in treasury bill of fixed income rate and yield, because I tell you, last week we saw on Wednesday that there was a reversal after seeing for straight 5 weeks of decline in treasury bill. We saw a kind of uptick in the last Wednesday in the process. This is why I said this week we need to see some movement of fund. Let's watch and see. But I will tell you, on the strength of the earnings we're expecting, even there's a pullback in the market, they also want to go like the reversal. It is when you see that in a markdown and payment, that is also you see market trying to remain in oscillation. But I believe that once the election come and go, confidence will come back to the economy, and we expect that the impact of what CBN is doing also will start, because it's not only just to design money. Other policies should come to keep the economy in the right direction. We expect that after this election, we want to see more policy from CBN, where the monetary policy coming in the month of March. We are seeing inflation moving as high as 21.82. What's going to guide them? Are they going to increase another hike? And then where you are, there's cash crunch. All these are things we're expected to see. That will also have the way of also impacting the market, depending on the direction the monetary policy committee will also be looking at in the month of March. That's why I said the market remains also very good place to stay, especially for income investors and also we traders that are entirely don't be greedy, know when to take your profit, and that is how to go about the market. The market remains very, very active and very, very well upbeat, but don't be carried away with up market. Know exactly when to take profit. On this note, I say thank you. See you next week. Bye.